Kenyon from TT Bike Fit, founder of TT Bike Fit and founder and creator of Vertex Fit Systems and the Vertex Fit Cycle. This is the Vertex Fit Cycle right here, and the purpose of this video, we just wanted to give you some basics on what the Vertex is, general stuff that it can do, and basically how do you work the thing. And this is not going in deep dive or anything crazy with bike fitting, but this is just to show the basics of what the machine is and how it operates. So when I started bike fitting well over a decade ago, the first thing I wanted was a fit platform that I could control automatically and that wouldn't constrain me in any way when I determined the best fit for a rider, and then I could then convert whatever I got on the fit platform to the rider's existing bike or to a new bike. So let's just look at the Vertex here and see what it is. It's a self-contained unit. It's made out of heavy-duty steel. You can move it around. The only thing that needs to be plugged into anything is power in the wall, and it doesn't have an integrated platform or anything like that. All the electronics are inside the machine. It has a Wahoo kicker drive unit. That, of course, is ANT+ controllable, Bluetooth controllable, reports power, can be used in erg mode. It's a very realistic feeling drive unit, so that's why we wanted to include that. Thing is extremely robust. I'm 200 pounds and I'm jumping up and down on the thing, and it would have no trouble moving me around while I was doing that. So there's no worries about the durability of the device. This one's been in service for a couple of years, and we've had absolutely zero issues with it. It has no problem moving the axes and standing up to the strongest rider we've been able to put on it. One of the most unique things, or the most unique thing about the Vertex, other than it being fully automated and fully computer controlled, is that the rider's saddle never moves. So one of the things I felt was absolutely essential to make the device very usable for the operator, for the fitter or bike shop owner or coach or what have you, was to be able to change one fit parameter at a time without affecting other fit parameters. And the only way to do that was to keep the saddle stable and move all the other contact points around the saddle. So Vertex Fit Cycle, named after the vertex point right here, rider's contact point on top of the saddle. So everything moves relative to this point. If I'm going to raise the saddle doesn't move, bottom bracket moves downward. If I'm going to change the saddle setback or the seat angle, effective seat angle, the bottom bracket swings as if it was connected by a string to this point on the saddle. So it swings in a radial arc. Therefore, the distance from the contact point to the bottom bracket never changes through the entire range of seat angles, which can go way beyond what you would get on any normal bike, say from 69 to 90 degrees. It's sitting at 90 degrees right now. The bars move in X and Y like bars on some other fit bikes do, but since the saddle never moves, when we're changing other things, we're not changing the relationship between the saddle and the bars. So if I'm raising the saddle height, which in this case means I'm lowering the bottom bracket, I'm not increasing the drop to the bars. If I'm changing the saddle setback, let's say I'm going to a slack or seat angle, which effectively on a bike would mean pushing the saddle back. On this unit, I'm swinging the saddle in an arc forward. I'm not changing the distance, the reach distance to the bars. That all stays stable while this stuff is moving around. So, how do you operate the Vertex? Well, it's quite simple. It's all self-contained within the unit, as I said, and it's wireless. So you can operate it from any Wi-Fi enabled device with the browser, and I'm going to just grab over here an iPad. And so after you flip the unit on and it hooks up to your Wi-Fi network, you can pull up its address on your mobile device, your phone, your iPad, or of course a PC, and you get the onboard user interface that we see here, and that lets you control all four axes however you like. So for instance, if I wanted to move the seat height, in fact increase the seat height here, it's very low, it's at 60 centimeters. I could say, okay, I want to increase it to 70 centimeters, and I actually type it in millimeters, so I type in 700 millimeters, type it in, and then we press our operating button, and there it goes. And while that's moving, your interface here is reporting the real-time position of the axis that's moving, and you can stop it at any time, restart it. You can also increment it in millimeter increments if I want to. I can just hit plus or minus buttons and increment it just a couple of millimeters at a time. So there we just increase the saddle height. Why don't I change the seat angle since it's at a very steep, probably not usable 90 degrees. Put it at, say, a triathlon type seat angle of 78 degrees. So this is what I mean about the swinging of the bottom bracket. This is actually traveling in a radial arc from this point right here. What if we wanted to change all axes at once, or match this to a previous fit, or match this to the rider's existing fit? No problem. Of course, we have software that lets you measure a rider's existing bike and convert it to Vertex coordinates. But I can just, through my interface here, just pull up a previous fit that's been done. I can load that in. Once I have the fit loaded in, I can just hit the Move All Axes button. So the point is, very easy to operate from any device you're likely to have around. You can save coordinate sets, you can recall coordinate sets, you can toggle back and forth between two different fits. For instance, you can toggle between the rider's before fit and the rider's after fit just by selecting a saved set and hitting the Move All Axes button, and everything will move. And of course, this all operates while the rider is operating under full load. I've been riding this thing all winter, putting out a lot of power, and I'm 200 pounds, and this bike doesn't blink an eye at that. This thing is way overbuilt. We want this to be robust. We didn't want this to have to be treated like a fine scientific instrument, because of course it's going to be, we know it's going to be ridden hard. And this one's been in continuous use for a couple of years right now and has been operating perfectly. So the other thing that the interface will show to you here while you're doing this in real time is it will actually throw out frame stack and reach dimensions and bike suggestions from a database. So while you're actually operating it, you can quickly look on here and say, okay, so it looks like the rider needs a frame stack and reach here, or this bike will work for him. And that's a very quick way to get an idea. If you were using this, for instance, in a sales setting, and someone walks in and they're looking for a bike, you can throw them on this very quickly, get them to a place where they're pretty comfortable, where they look good, and then you've got a frame stack and reach, or you've got particular bikes out of a database that will work for them. That's the very quick and dirty, easy way to use it. You can get way more scientific than that, and we'll talk about that in another video. But as you can see here, I do have this set up for tri. It's very easy to switch saddles and say switch it to road if I want to do that. So I'm going to just put my tablet down here. Another unique feature here is the ability to switch saddles while the rider is still on the bike. So if I had the athlete on here, he would have just had to stand up on the pedals while I remove that saddle. And then the saddle tilt is changeable while the rider's sitting on it. But also, you know, if you just swap a saddle like that, you might want to get the angle at an angle that you think is appropriate before you have them sit back down on it. All takes a matter of seconds to do that. Just flip a lever, saddle off, saddle on. Bike comes with 2 of these cassettes. Additional ones are available. You can have them preloaded. And the great thing is that the saddle height doesn't change when you swap saddles, because off the bike, while you're loading a new saddle in here, you set the stack so that it's always the same when you switch saddles. So the rider does not feel a change in saddle height. The rider does not feel a change in effective seat angle. The rider only feels, in that case, what the different saddle feels like. Bars, you want to change those quickly to, say, road bars, for instance. One screw. Bars are out. Set them however you like them. And there you go. So very easy to switch saddles and bars, very easy to change saddle tilt, very easy to switch saddles and not have it affect the rider's fit. So you can run through a whole bunch of saddles. It's a great platform to help a rider find the saddle that works for them, to use it for saddle sales as well. And that's basically it. That's the basics of how this bike works and what it is. In another video, we'll dig deeper into what you can do with the Vertex from a fitting and research standpoint, and the powerful software, the PC-based software that this comes with that lets you analyze the rider's fit.